So here we are, the jewel in the crown of Yorkshire sport climbing. Probably the best sport climbing in the whole country, I'd say. And now look at it. In fact, that's maybe what makes it one of the best. It is totally pouring down and we can still climb, no stress. A bit chilly, but it does allow climbing in any condition. I started climbing here, it must have been probably way back in about 1995, 96, a long time ago. And that was just right at the start of when I first got into sport climbing, really. Before that, dreamt of coming here, but it was just way too hard, not an option, no point coming. Certainly the routes, they don't give anything away. And I think the first, in fact I can remember clearly, looking at rain dogs, we walked in one evening, and I thought, that looks easy, like 80, no way. And I went to bed camping, and the next morning I came back and I thought I was going to be able to just on-site it. No, got absolutely shut down. It was a real wake-up call as to what Malham's all about. I got shut down and basically just gave up. It took me about another 5 years before I finally got to actually do the route. The problem you've got with Malham is you look up and you can see all these holes, but they're all upside down. When I did back route, I almost fell off here, right at the top. So when you actually start climbing up it and you look down, there isn't any holes anymore, footholds or handholds. So you need a bit of different kinds of skills to do well here. It's definitely a challenge for the first time climber. I mean, I'd been climbing for a long time when I first came here, and I got shut down completely. And in fact, I don't think I liked it. Yosemite Wall, I mean, that's really, it kind of sums up the history of Malham, really. You know, it's a big, bold line. It's kind of a real traditional sport climb in a way, because it follows this big feature. The holes have got a trad style feel, big holes, undercut side pulls. It kind of looks like you could place some wires and some cams, although I think if you tried you might be disappointed. It used to go on pegs years and years ago. So it was a classic E5 way back in 1984 or something, and it's since been turned into a sport route, which to be fair it pretty much always was anyway, because it had so many pegs in it. I hope I've attached my biceps today, because that's what's required. Secret hole down there. It's not over yet. That's more like it. And then it goes from almost falling off, suddenly, both hands are off. And I love the route because of its line, because of its nature. It's quite different to the other climbing, so it doesn't have small holes where you're picking your way up. It's really got big holes, and it's a full body workout. You get to the top and you know you've done some climbing. It may not be the hardest route on the crag, but man, it packs a punch, and for sure it should be on everybody's hit list. 7A+, definitely no pushover. Which way should we go? Use that one? And it's ironic that I do love the crag so much, because it's a lot of undercuts, a lot of side pulls, and physically I'm really quite weak in the undercut side pull department. I'm better at pulling down. Lovely. Yosemite Wall. Classic of the crag. Okay, Zips.
It's interesting that you say that you're not strong, because I think that's what a lot of people say that you are.
No, I'm not. No, in terms of climbing strength, I'm way off the pace. Like, so far off the pace that it's almost embarrassing. If you put me indoors on a strength-based boulder problem, then you might think that I've just started. It's a bit of a joke, really. So this crag, in a way, even though it's quite burly, and it shouldn't suit me in that respect, it also does suit me in a lot of ways, because there's a lot about tiny footholds, really intricate footwork, and as you can see looking at the rock, it's heavily featured. So there's a lot of foot options, even though they're all terrible. So in that respect, it's all about choosing the best footholds to make the moves as efficient as possible. Here we have New Dawn, another classic of the crag, possibly even more classic than Yosemite Wall, but considerably harder. So Malham is kind of steeped in history, really. It had its traditional roots, then it had the very beginnings of sport climbing. It really was the sort of forcing ground. But certainly in terms of projects and hard routes, the cliff has been very kind to me. It's given me a lot. It's given me more than anywhere else. And I think I stepped in just at the right time. There's quite a few lines had been left by the previous generation, hard ones as well, and brilliant ones, possibly the best on the whole crag, just abandoned. And I came in and there it was, silver platter. Thank you very much. I just picked them off one by one. And then a bit of a tenuous clip here. I had to do that quite quick. Across to there. It's nice that that one's in. And then it's the crux. Can I remember what to do? No. I mean, one of the things to bear in mind when you come to Malham is that it isn't just a sport climbing cliff, it's got a lot of tradition as well. That seems as though my arms have shrunk. First of all, don't expect a lot of friction on the rock because there isn't that much. It's had a lot of traffic, but that doesn't detract from the quality of the climbing. In a way, you could even say it actually adds. Don't expect bolts every foot. A lot of these routes were done minimalistically bolted in the past. That's not to say it's dangerous, but certainly it's no pushover. And now the famous run out. Nobody likes this run out. And the very first time I tried to on-site New Dawn, you hope this is a jug, but it's not. I got my hands on this ledge, started gibbering. There's a bull tried to mantle chef onto this ledge and just took the whipper, peeled off backwards, ended up pretty much down wrapped around my belay's neck. It's definitely a big fall. But that kind of adds a bit of spice to the route. You know, it really, things like that give routes real character. It's not dangerous, it's just, it's a bit spicy.
So why not just put another bolt in?
I think, to be honest, this run-out section, if you added another bolt, it would just be hard to clip. It doesn't really need it. It would kind of detract from the climbing to a certain extent. And hey, it may be sport climbing, but we don't really need to just throw bolts in everywhere. Minimalistic is the way. New Dawn really sums up all that there is about the history of Malham. I think it'd be a good rest here, but it's just not. It's an excellent line, takes big features, it's really hard. I think it's one of the hardest routes around at the time. And the climbing is just absolutely amazing. It's a proper 3-star classic. Some routes have history which makes them a classic. This has definitely got the climbing style as well. It's brilliant. Heater across to here. And then some good old... I mean, Malham on a world scale, I think it's up there. Okay, so it's not Seus, it's not the Verdon. It's a quality crag, it's pretty special, and it would be in the running of best crags in the world for sure, no doubt. And this last section is always a bit strange. It goes right out across over here. It's not just me saying that as well. Ondra's been here, Sharma's been here. They both went away with a strong feeling that it was a very good crag. Certainly Ondra, he's been back twice. Onto a pretty disappointing hole, to be honest. Like, what's this all about? Okay. Hope that's dry. Yep. Just the belay to clip. Classic. One of the best routes in the world. Brilliant. So Rain Dogs. Now, I think you'd have to say Rain Dogs is possibly the Malham classic route. 8A, many people's first 8A. Time number 1648. It's kind of everything that Malham is all about. It's really hard, it's really intense. It just follows a line of not very good holes at all. Classic power endurance, so no really hard moves, but a lot of quite hard moves. I mean, the thing about Rain Dogs for me, it's a pretty special route because It's definitely taken my climbing into whole new dimensions that I would never have imagined. When I first made my first ascent of Rain Dogs, I certainly wouldn't have imagined I would be going on past the belay, through the bulges. I mean, a lot of routes at Malham, they do kind of end where the climbing gets really hard. They end at a good hold or maybe a ledge or something, and there's a belay there, but then the climbing kicks out and gets a lot harder. And this is particularly the case with Rain Dogs, classically so. First crux, hop. Just about reached that. In terms of opening up new doors in my climbing, it was kind of maybe the one route which inspired me to take my climbing further. It's a real privilege to be able to extend such a good route, to bring the route into the new generation. Because the climbing above that on Rain Shadow is equally matched. It's absolutely fantastic. One of the best routes ever, anywhere. It leads up to an amazing slap to the belay chain. With a chain grab, which is kind of strange that a route should finish by grabbing the chain, but there's kind of no holes there, so that's the way it has to finish. And he's kindly closed it for me. Ah. Whew. And that is Rain Dogs. And if you're going any higher, this is just the start. I still feel pumped.
So what's above this route then?
Above this route, there is a whole world of pain. There is Rain Shadow, which is 9A, probably the best route here. And then there is potentially a link into Bat Route, which is quite a bit harder. One for the future generation. On the whole, it's a privilege to be able to climb here, and I kind of spotted that right from the start, that it kind of held something quite special.